The Napa Valley region is one of California's top wine destinations, attracting nearly 4 million visitors annually. Many tourists enjoy a leisurely pace exploring the area's vineyards, wineries, and idyllic towns. But how do you get there as quickly and efficiently as possible, leaving maximum time for wine and relaxation? Well, let's see if we can figure out the best way on this episode of Point to Point. I've been to Napa Valley on just a few occasions, and each time I've been stopping through on trips to destinations beyond. So when a friend recently asked me for travel advice on flying in, I had to start from scratch with some basic travel research. Of course, starting from scratch with basic travel research is kind of my thing, which is probably why my friend reached out. Now, when it comes to flying into the area, you really have three main options. Either you can fly into Sacramento and head southwest, fly into Oakland and head north, or fly into San Francisco and head north. Sonoma County also has an airport just north of Santa Rosa, but it's not a lot closer, and it has far fewer flights than the other three. Still, that could be an option for someone flying in from Phoenix or LA or Seattle. You can't beat the logo. My friend will be flying out of Chicago, so I'll focus on the three larger airports. One of the first things I like to look at anytime I'm researching travel to a new area is what the transit options are. While the Bay Area overall has a pretty good system, it wasn't designed with the expectation of getting people from the airports to Napa Valley. Sacramento, not too surprisingly, has a pretty bad connection, with a person needing multiple layovers and 4+ hours to make the journey. It's not anywhere close to being a viable option. Let's check Oakland. Well, despite being closer to Napa Valley from a distance perspective, and the routing being more direct, we're still talking about 3 hours. It's like a rainbow of buses and trains, no matter which route you choose. Last try, San Francisco. Wow, it's just as bad. A little more train time versus bus time, which is preferable, but it takes at least 2 connections in more than 3 hours. Let's check if the weekday is any better. Not much. I think we can confidently conclude that the Bay Area has not prioritized transit to Napa Valley. There is one option that Google Maps doesn't seem to be pulling up, and that involves the ferry. For this option, you'd take the BART, yellow or red lines, to the Embarcadero stop, then walk a couple blocks to the ferry building. From there, you'd take a ferry to Vallejo, then transfer to a bus. It won't be a faster option, especially that part on the bus, but it certainly will be more scenic. Still, getting to Napa and wine quickly and efficiently is our goal today, so let's find a faster option. Some wineries or hotels will have shuttle service, so you'll definitely want to explore that, but my friend will not, so I'm going to look at driving routes. All three airports are roughly the same distance to downtown Napa, so your choice of airport may depend on where in Northern California's wine country you wanted to go, or whether you were planning to stop at any destinations along the way. For example, if you wanted to explore San Francisco first, or drive across the Golden Gate Bridge, or stop for a hike through the Redwoods at Muir Woods National Monument, then San Francisco would be the obvious choice. If you're like my friend and just trying to get to downtown Napa, then the route with the least amount of traffic is what you want. Given the urban density around Oakland and San Francisco, I expect Sacramento to be the winner during rush hour, but let's see what Google Maps says. Okay, traffic now, on a Saturday afternoon, shows 1 hour and 16 minutes from Sacramento. The same from Oakland, and about 15 minutes longer from San Francisco. Pretty similar, with a bit of traffic on the San Francisco and Oakland routes. Now let's check 5 p.m. in the middle of the week. When trying to figure out travel times, it's always a good idea to roll the date and time forward to when you plan to arrive. This is especially important when traveling around urban areas or in mountainous regions where some roads may only be open seasonally. Bear in mind that these are projections, but they should be based on historical data. Sacramento still looks pretty good, estimated between 1 hour and 1 hour 20. Oakland? we'd anticipate the possibility of some traffic, and that's what this shows, estimating between an hour 25 and just over 2 hours. Now San Francisco. This will definitely be the worst. Trying to drive through downtown and across the Bay Bridge at that time of day, you could expect to be on the road for an hour and 40 minutes up to nearly 3 hours. Shoot, at that point you'd be better off taking the ferry. Based on this information, and knowing my friend plans to fly in and out on weekdays, I'm going to suggest Sacramento if possible, or Oakland as a second option, avoiding rush hour. But what if flights are cheaper out of San Francisco, or the schedules are more convenient? Well, in that case, I'll just recommend that my friend leaves a lot of time for the connection from the airport to Napa. Or maybe I'll send a link to that ferry schedule, along with a reminder that the joy of travel is about the destination, but also about the journey, from point to point. Thanks for watching.